Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Budget Mini Clubman. So, I can't put it off any longer. Still waiting for a few bits and bobs to come through. So, you can see behind me, I've started bodywork. I am not a professional at this by any stretch of the imagination. This is the first time I've done something on such a big scale. Painted a few panels here and there and they've come out pretty good. So, I've discovered my bonnet's pretty much like Rocky Road. It's a bit of a mess, to be honest, but I put the effort into repairing it and making it fit, so I need to sort of repair the rest of it now. So yeah, I've been going over it with 180s and 240s just to smooth off and get the paint off. This black paint's awful, really awful. So it's not easy to get off. Luckily the rest of the car's sort of been panelled up, so you don't really have to worry about it. The next big thing will be the roof, but the roof really isn't too bad, just a few minor dents to get out. So I'm hoping it'll be alright really, it's not going to be too bad. But yeah, so between waiting for bits, the main thing really to get on with is the doors, but can't crack on with them yet because I'm waiting for my bottom repairs. But yeah, so let's not waste time, let's get on with some sanding. So yeah, I'm going to sand some filler and I'll let you guys in on what I'm doing and stuff. I'm not going to go into massive detail unless people really want me to, because I'm new to this. So like I mentioned, 180s, 240s to really get stuck into the paint to get the worst of it off. Yeah, pretty much the shell's, well, you know, there's no more welding to do to the shell, so it's a case of getting the bodywork smooth now. So that's where I went. I've asked a lot of advice from people like Mark Draper. If you've not seen Keith Miller's channel, he's done the ERA and painted Project Sprout and stuff like that. And it takes time, body prep takes time. I think Keith said he spent days on it, and it does take time. For me, it's going to be in between working and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to pick the worst panel, which was the bonnet, and I want to get that the best I can, and to the point where I'm going, right, I can prime that and then carry on with the rest of the car really. So obviously I need to get the doors on because that's going to be a big contributing factor to everything. But yeah, I'll bring you guys along for the challenge, shall we say. But yeah, it's looking a bit bare. So I didn't have in two minds to just bare metal the bonnet because it was a bit bumpy, but we'll see how this really takes really and how the primer goes on. But the rest of the bonnet's come up really nice, just a few areas where I've had to sort out the dent. I've managed to knock out the dent a little bit. If you remember, there was two dents where someone's pushed down on the bonnet. I managed to get most of that out, so there's a light skin filler on that now. And yeah, it's a case of letting things go. It's very bright, the sun's out. So yeah, I'm using this brand, so it's Micra, however you want to pronounce it, sanding discs. Available on eBay or any body shop really sells them. It's really decent stuff. Yeah, so I spent a few hours on it today, so working up my hours to 170 hours now I'm on the car. So yeah, I've obviously got a lot more to go, but let's just carry on really. I can't really say much more about it. It's all new to me, so I've watched loads of guys on YouTube. I'm really passionate about trying to get the bodywork the best I can, and it's only going to get better and better the more and more I do. So I sort of want to make mistakes on this car as well, and not the 89. So if that's anything to go by, but yeah. So I'll flick you around now and I'll show you where I'm at. Right, in true matte green form, I lever the filler on. So there really isn't that much bodywork to do. It's just I put too much filler on. I managed to get out pretty much everything, because if everyone remembered, I put in a little bit of metal to make the bonnet just a bit wider to sort my gap out, just because it was really doing the nut. Pretty much all of that's completely smooth. I'm really happy with that, but I've just had a bit of a low spot there, so again, too much filler. These are all little minor dents. I've managed to tap them back most of the time, but there's quite a bit of framework under the bonnet which is stopping me from doing that. So yeah, there's just a light skim of filler on it. And where else have we been? A few dents from where I hammer and dollied the A panel round, so I've started to work on this. This is ultra smooth now, so it's a very light skin, like very fine filler, not the same as what's on the bonnet. It's basically, it's called dolphin glaze. It's a bit finer, but yeah, we're getting there. That looks awful, but it will get sanded back obviously. There's quite a few stone chips along the front, but an 80 grit along the front, I've managed to get them out, and then I've gone back over it again with a 240 to get the sanding scratches out, and that's come out really well. In the front of the bonnet, really nice and smooth. So
Like I mentioned before, there's not going to be too much prep on the wings. There's a dent on that wing, which I've knocked out. Just put a very, very light skim of filler on that. That quarter is completely unknown to me. Someone's repaired that, so I'm hoping when I get stuck into it, it's not going to be too bad. The other quarter really shouldn't be too bad. It's a case of smoothing it back really. Back panel, I'm pretty much there. I've done quite a bit of work to that already, and there's 2 dents I've counted on the roof. I've already sanded and filled 2, sort of as and when I've owned the car. So front panel will be quite easy as well. So yeah, it's really, I keep saying it's not too much, but I'm hoping it's not going to be too bad. Right, so time off body prep. Got some paint on the old subframe, so it's come up nice, quite nice and glossy. So it's a bit pitted from surface rust, but I've cleaned it back. I've treated it. But this is the one thing I wanted to show you guys. Can't quite, can you see it there? That actually smells Marwog, so it's an original subframe, which is absolutely awesome. But yeah, it's not gonna look great. This light's awful as well. There you go, you can see this all finish. But it will do. It will do the job. So it's all painted up. Another job off the list. I've sort of levered it on, so it has given a bit of a texture as well. But it lasts for a few years, and then I'll probably take it off and do a bit more of an overhaul. But it'll get it on the road. It's good and solid, and I like the fact it's original. So this is, if anyone's watched the other series, the 89's jig. I'm using it to make good use of it, I guess. So yeah, it's nice to see some paint and not rust. So I hope it lasts. Obviously this is only hammerite, so it says it's got 3 to 4 years, but looks better. Right, so this is sort of day 1, I guess, of prepping. I've got as far as sort of the A panels. Pretty much sorted the bonnet. It's just a few areas that I want to go back on. I've ordered some finer filler just to go back over those areas because I think it'd be better. I've got most of the dent out. I managed to knock the dent back a little bit on that. If you remember, those 2 sort of where someone's pushed down on the bonnet, managed to get those out, so I just need to sort of skimp it back over and just try and get it that little bit better. I'm going to heavily prime the car anyway. Now I've got a bit more to work with, but I thought I'd just take a quick moment to sort of finish the video, just to walk around the car and see what else we've got to do. Obviously we've got the doors, still waiting on door repairs, so I can't really start them yet. All down here is pretty much sorted. Like I say, it's a light skimp or filler all the way down there, just because there's some light indents where I had to sort of fold the A panel around. I don't have a folding tool, so I had to do it with my own little devices. I managed to get some rubber and some clamps and feed it around, but unfortunately the clamp's still dug in a little bit, so just it sorted it. It's nice and smooth. Obviously the wings and the front panel, apart from a little transportation dent that came in it, I've not had to really do anything. I've literally just scotched them, so I've not had to do much. Looking over the roof, I've seen, I don't know if you guys can pick up on that on the light, there's a dent there and there's a dent about there. So there's 2 dents to sort on the roof that I can see. I've already sorted one that was there, and obviously if you've seen the 2nd episode, I've got rid of the aerial that's had an awful, I hate aerials on the roof of Minis, so sorry to anyone that does have one. I wanted to get rid of the aerial. I just don't think it's period correct, and it was actually corroding around the hole, so that's gone. I'm quite happy with that. See how that primes out, that should be alright. This quarter is again brand new. They've got to do a bit more work on the pillars, both pillars there. Shouldn't be too bad really, but other than that, the actual Corsa is really quite good, obviously, because there's no dents in it, it's brand new. I'm going to run over it, I'm going to guide coat the whole car after priming, so we shouldn't be too bad. Get into the back of the car. So this boot lid needs a little bit of rust repair. It's not too bad, and I've just sort of gone over it, and there's no dents in it really. So I'll DA it off, see what occurs. But it might be quite a quick fix that, so fingers crossed that's okay. On the back panels here, both sides, obviously I've put in the whole back end. I need to go over it again, I'm not quite happy with it. Again, I'm going to use the finer filler because I think that's going to give me sort of more to work with, and I'll see more of where the profile's got issues. Moving round, so like all up here is fine. All the way along here is not corroded like a normal Mini, so that's fine. Again there, right at the bottom, is where I want to sort of address a bit more. This quarter is a bit... there's no dents in it. Sort of going down the car, there's no dents, but someone's put in, obviously, if you remember that I got the inner quarter panel and a section of the outer quarter panel to about there to fix the other side, but I cut it apart. If you remember, I can't remember which episode it was, must be about number 20 by that point. And I put in just the inner bit and then bought a whole new quarter because I didn't want to do this. And you can see where someone's used some filler. So I'm going to go over it with the DA. I'm going to try and get it out, but the rest of the quarter is pretty much, I can't feel a dent on it. So that might be on to a winner as well. So back end's really the next big thing to sort. Sort of dents in the roof. I don't want to speak too soon, but if the door's going okay, we might be getting somewhere. The really, really bad part of this is the bonnet. The bonnet's quite bad, really it did need replacing. Budget didn't allow, unfortunately. I've got to go through and just tidy up some of these gutters, not quite happy with them. Someone's welded a piece in here, it looks a bit... yeah, it needs sorting. Sort of put from there to there in, which is fine, but it's actually cracked, and it just needs grinding back, I think, but I think I'm going to maybe cut it out and start again. So the rest of the gutter's pretty good, sort of all the way under here. It's really nice. I think it's had some sort of seam trim on it, which I don't like. I won't be putting one back on, which is I want to get the gutter nice. But there's loads of silicone all the way under it, like where they've used to hold it on. So obviously just that's where we're going. So it's quite exciting, really. All the way, sort of all these areas, the B pillars shouldn't take too much prep. I'm just going to scotch them. The scuttle is pretty good. There was a bit of corrosion here, which I've gone over cure rusted and then come back over it with a DA, and that's nice. The only bit on the scuttle I have got to sort is where I repaired the scuttle. I've gone over it with a few passes of filler, and it's getting there, but I'm not quite perfectly happy with it. But yeah, other than that, the bonnet's the big job. So we are getting there. Right, so thank you for watching. Literally just sort of going over where I'm at with the bodywork. I've got stuck in, I've got started, I bought all my discs, I've got myself a good DA. I had that previously. I bought that to paint another Clubman bonnet I had on my Orange Estate many years back. Since then, it's done various other panels and jobs. It's sorted out a Ford KA we owned many years ago, and we used it quite a lot on the Midas. So we had 2 or 3 DAs going at one point on the Midas, because obviously we were really on crunch time with that. So the best thing you can really do is try and get your best tools you can get hold of. Mine is, I'll grab it for you, it's a Makita electrical one. You can fit 150mm discs on it, so it's perfect. It's got a dust catcher, which is pretty good. So it is, if anyone's after one, Makita BO6030. So that's the model of it. So I've had that about 5 years now, and it's never missed a beat. I think you do get what you pay for. Makita, they're very good tools. I would definitely suggest that one. There's air ones out there, but for me, I don't want to keep kicking up my compressor just to run that. The air one's very good, but I've done so well with that. It's so powerful. You get so many different settings on it. So the thing with prep is you've just got to take your time. I know I've gone all the way through this build, and I'm like, I don't want to do the prep. I don't want to do the prep. But it really is a learning curve, and I think when you start priming the car, you'll then see if you're getting halfway there. I do think the bonnet's going, like I've mentioned a few times, the bonnet's going to take a few primings, I think, to get it how I want, because the front of the car has got to be right, but thankfully the rest of the front of the car is brand new.
yeah, other than that, I don't think I'm too nervous. The front and back of the car really I want to get right because they've had the heaviest amount of work really, I guess. Like I mentioned, the doors, I hope they fit nice. The original doors fitted so well, and I've mocked the new front up on that. New heritage skin should really help with that too. So just updated my hours. Were at 172 hours. Been out here for another 5-6 hours really working. So we've managed to sort of get to the A panels basically with prep and a few passes of filler. I got a bit sort of bored and walked away from it for a bit, so I've cleaned and painted my subframe in some Hammerite. Yes, not everyone will go that route. A lot of people have powder coated in the past, but we are, I guess, after the car's painted, so the subframe shouldn't come into the equation on a budget. But personally, I'm still on a budget. I can't afford to throw money at it. Hammerite's on the shelf. I've used Hammerite many times. It's got 3 or 4 year rust protection on it, and it's the original subframe, so I've gone with it. So you don't really see that much of it when it's in the car. As long as it's solid, as long as it's well protected, that's what you're going to do. I will wax it to, preserve it for further years. But the car's not going to do that much mileage, and yeah, it'll be good enough for me. I'm going to do the same with the front subframe. Front subframe, is really good. It's just got a bit of oil all over it, which is perfect. So that means it's not going to be rusty. I've just got to dry it out a little bit and get rid of the oil. Yeah, so what can you expect from the next episode, I guess? More DAing. Basically, I'll finish from the A panel back, and like I mentioned, I've got a few dents in the roof, and I want to work on the back panel, really the main thing. So yeah, hopefully we can get some primer on it soon. I really hope so, because then I'll be able to see, number one, the car in one colour, which will be quite nice, and number two, you can really see how far away you are from the final goal of putting some paint on. So that's what's going to happen next. But really, I am obviously, the main priority is sort the doors out, because then you can finish prep on both sides of the car with the finished doors. So I'm gonna sort of sign out for the night. Hope everyone's safe and well. This is actually filmed on VE Day, so obviously, it's a special day for everyone in the world, and especially in the UK. So yeah, hope everyone's safe, and I'll catch you in the next one.